I was standing behind the hotel reception when he walked in. Tall, confident, wearing a black suit and expensive shoes. He didn't even look at me, just handed me his card and said, "Room for 2 nights, quiet floor." I typed quickly, my fingers shaking a little. Not because of him, but because of what he reminded me of. A life I left behind. I gave him the key, smiled politely, and said the usual, "Enjoy your stay," but inside I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Fear, regret, and a strange kind of sadness. He looked at me for the first time then. Like really looked, his eyes paused. "Do I know you?" he asked. I froze. I wanted to say no, just smile and move on. But something inside me whispered, "He remembers." So I just said, "I don't think so, sir," and looked down at the desk. He walked away, and I stood there, heart pounding like a drum. Because yes, he did know me, but not from here, not from this life. We grew up in the same town, same street. We even went to the same school, and once he asked me to prom. Back when I was just a quiet girl with old shoes and a big dream. Back when I thought I could change everything. But I never went to that prom because that week my world fell apart. My parents died in a car accident. No warning, no goodbye. I was 16. Suddenly, I was alone. And I had to grow up fast. I disappeared from that town. I didn't even say goodbye to him. I just left. What no one knew was, they left me everything. My parents weren't rich, but they had land, property, stocks. I didn't understand any of it then. But I learned. I studied. I worked hard. And I became, well, I guess the word is wealthy. But I never told anyone. Because money can't fix a broken heart. It can't bring your parents back. And it can't erase the loneliness you feel when you wake up in a big, empty apartment. So I started doing something different. Once a year, I took a job in a small place, a cafe, a hotel, a bookstore, just for a few weeks, just to feel real, to remember who I was before. This year, I chose this hotel. It was quiet, simple, a place where no one asked questions. Until he walked in. His name was Daniel. And he wasn't just a boy from my past. He was the only person who ever really saw me back then. And now he was here, and I was just the girl behind the desk. I watched him from the corner of my eye all day. He was polite to the staff. He tipped well. He worked on his laptop in the lounge and took phone calls in a low voice. He didn't recognize me. Not really, until that night. I was working late, checking the reservation system when I felt someone watching me. I looked up. Daniel stood there, holding 2 cups of tea. "Long shift?" he asked, smiling. I nodded. He placed 1 cup in front of me. "Green tea. Still your favorite?" My stomach dropped. He knew. I laughed, but my voice shook. "You remember that?" "I remember a lot of things," he said. His voice was quiet. "Careful, like how you disappeared. No phone call, no note, nothing." I looked down. "I'm sorry," I whispered. Why did you leave? He asked. I could feel his eyes on me. Kind, but full of hurt. I wanted to tell him everything. That I lost my family, that I lost myself, that I didn't know how to say goodbye, but all I said was, I couldn't stay. He didn't speak for a long time. Then he sat down next to me. Do you ever think about going back? He asked. Every day, I said. But I wouldn't know who I am there anymore. He looked around the hotel lobby. And who are you here? I smiled. Just a girl who makes beds and answers phones. He studied me. No, he said, you're more than that. I can see it. My heart hurt. Because I wanted to tell him. I wanted to say I have a house in Paris. I own this hotel. I'm not just a girl behind the desk. But I didn't, not yet, because part of me was still scared. Scared that if he knew the truth, he'd walk away again. And I wasn't sure I could survive losing him twice. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept thinking about Daniel. His voice, his eyes, the way he looked at me like I was still the same girl from high school, like no time had passed. But it had passed 10 years, a whole life. The next morning, I saw him at breakfast. He smiled and waved me over. I froze for a second. I wasn't supposed to talk to guests like that, not while working. But I walked to his table anyway. You didn't touch your tea last night, he said. I took it home, I answered. It helped. He nodded, then said softly, You look tired. I gave a small laugh. Reception doesn't sleep. He tilted his head. Still making jokes when you're nervous, huh? I smiled. He remembered that too. Then he looked at me in a way that made my stomach twist. You know, he said, I looked for you. I sat down slowly. After you left, he continued, I asked everyone. No one knew where you went, not even your aunt. I bit my lip. I didn't tell her. Why? He asked. I thought we were close. I thought you trusted me. I looked away. How do you explain grief to someone who's never felt that kind of loss? I lost everything, Daniel, I said. My parents, my home, my direction. I didn't even know how to breathe without them. He said nothing for a moment, just watched me. I'm sorry, he said finally. I didn't know. You couldn't, I replied. There was silence between us, but not the uncomfortable kind. It felt real. Then he asked, So why here? Why this hotel? I shrugged. I like quiet places. And the job? I paused. It helps me feel normal. He looked confused. Normal? I laughed. Never mind. But he didn't let it go. Tell me something true, he said. Anything. Just something. I looked at him for a long time, and then I said it. I'm not who you think I am. He raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? I mean, I didn't just leave. I disappeared. I changed everything. Okay, he said slowly. I got a job at a bookstore, then another. I learned about investments, real estate, business. I worked hard, and now? I stopped. He leaned in. Now? I took a deep breath. Now I own this hotel. He stared at me. What? I bought it 2 years ago, I said, quietly, through a company name no one here knows. His eyes widened. You own it? I nodded. He leaned back in his chair, silent. I expected shock, maybe anger, maybe even laughter. But I didn't expect what came next. That's why you looked so calm, he said. What? Behind the desk. You didn't look like someone afraid of anything. You looked peaceful, like you were watching the world, not running from it. His words made my eyes sting. No one ever said that to me before, I whispered. He smiled. Well, I see you now. My heart ached in the best way. That night, after my shift, we walked through the quiet halls together. I showed him the rooftop. It wasn't fancy, just a small space with old chairs and fairy lights. But the view of the city was beautiful. We sat there in silence. Then he said, Why did you tell me? I didn't need to ask what he meant. Because you were the only person who ever saw the real me, I said. Even when I didn't. He looked down. I still see her, he said. And just like that, it was all too much. The years, the loss, the hiding. I looked at him and asked the one question I never had the courage to ask before. Did you ever love me? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, a folded paper, old, soft from time. He handed it to me. I opened it with shaking hands. It was a photo. Me, age 16, in the school library, laughing at something off camera. He must have taken it without me noticing. There were words written on the back. I wish I had the courage to tell her how I feel, but maybe one day she'd know. I looked up at him, eyes full. You kept this? I asked. Every day, he said. I just never thought I'd see you again. My hands trembled as I held the photo. Then he reached out and gently touched my fingers. But I was wrong, he whispered. Just then, the wind picked up. A soft breeze moved through the lights, and for the first time in years, I felt warm again. Alive, like maybe, just maybe, this story wasn't over yet. After that night on the rooftop, something changed between us. Daniel didn't leave after 2 nights. He extended his stay. Then again, and again. He said he had work in the city, but I think we both knew the real reason he stayed. We had dinner together after my shifts, walked through the quiet hotel hallways at night. Sometimes we didn't even talk, just sat in silence. It was easy, natural, like we were picking up from where we left off 10 years later. One evening, I brought him to the small garden behind the hotel. It wasn't fancy, but I had planted it myself. He knelt beside a tiny lemon tree and smiled. Still your favorite? I nodded. Yeah, still sour and sweet at the same time. Like you, he said. I laughed, shaking my head. Careful. That almost sounded romantic. He stood up and looked at me seriously. What if it was? My smile faded a little, because deep down I was afraid. I had learned to protect myself from disappointment, from loss, from letting anyone get too close, So I looked away and said, I don't know if I'm ready. He didn't push. He just said, I'll wait, and he did. He gave me space, time, but he never went far, and day by day, I began to believe in something I thought I'd lost forever. Hope. One morning, the manager asked to speak with me. We're making cuts, she said. And since you've only been here for a few weeks, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. I just smiled. It's okay, I said. I was planning to leave anyway. She looked surprised. You were? I nodded. It's time. That afternoon, I packed my things. Daniel helped me carry my bag to the rooftop one last time. You're leaving? He asked. Yes, I said, but not forever. He frowned. What does that mean? It means I want to stop hiding from the past, from the future, from you. He looked at me carefully. So what now? I took a deep breath. I want to show you something. We took a short drive outside the city to a house on a hill. It was modern, simple, full of light. I handed him the keys. This is mine, I said. He stared at me. I bought it last year. I never told anyone. I come here when I need to think. When I need peace. He walked through the house slowly, like he was afraid to break something. It's beautiful, he said. So are you, I whispered. He turned to me, surprised. I smiled. You asked me once if I ever think about going back. He nodded. I don't want to go back anymore, I said. I want to move forward. He came closer. With me? I didn't answer with words. I just reached for his hand, and he understood. That night, we sat on the porch, watching the stars. No noise, no hotel, no lies, just truth and love. Real love, not loud or perfect, but gentle, strong, forgiving. After all these years, I finally understood something. Being rich doesn't mean having money. It means having people who stay, people who listen, people who love you even after the storms. For so long, I thought I had to carry everything alone. But I was wrong. I looked at Daniel beside me, and I said the words I had never said before. Thank you for finding me again. He smiled. You didn't make it easy. I didn't know how, I said. Well, he said, now you do. I leaned my head on his shoulder, and in that quiet moment, no hotel uniform, no hiding, no fear, I finally felt free. Maybe the world still didn't know who I really was, but he did, and that was enough. Now, tell me, have you ever hidden a part of yourself ... because you were afraid someone wouldn't love the real you? Let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more.